Dear learners, in continuation to our session on SDGs and India's achievement, in this session we are starting from goal number 14. We have discussed up to goal number 13 in the previous session. Goal number 14, life below water, to conserve and sustainably use the world's oceans, seas and marine resources. This goal 14 commits all the countries to conserve and sustainably use oceans, seas and marine resources, focuses on preventing marine pollution, ending illegal and destructive fisheries practices, and sustainably managing and protecting marine and coastal ecosystem while increasing the scientific knowledge, research and transfer of marine technology to improve marine health. India's approach can be looked into containing marine pollution, conservation of marine and coastal ecosystem, mangroves and coral reef conservation, sustainable marine fishing. India is signatory to MARPOL, International Convention on Prevention of Marine Pollution. Levels of marine pollution are being monitored at various locations along the country's coastline through the Coastal Ocean Monitoring Prediction System. Prevention of marine pollution is also dealt with by Merchant Shipping Rules 20009 framed under the Merchant Shipping Act of 1958. The online oil spill advisory system, an online mechanism for predicting the movement of oil spill, which was launched in 2015, is one of the schemes which we can look under containing marine pollution. Besides, the revised National Oil Spill Disaster Contingency Plan of 2014 that reflects necessary national regulation as well as current international norms and is implemented to combat air pollution in various maritime zones. And efforts towards conservation of marine and coastal ecosystem, we have marine protected areas. And we are using marine protected areas as units for protection of marine and coastal natural resources and biodiversity conservation as well as the well-being of people dependent on them for their livelihoods. India has 25 MPAs in this peninsular region and 106 in islands, collectively spanning about 10,000 square kilometers. Several steps have been taken to conserve substantial portion of the coastal and marine areas that National Biodiversity Target number 6, Aichi Biodiversity Target number 11 in the country. For this purpose, 106 coastal and marine sites have been prioritized and managed its important coastal and marine areas. For mangrove and coral reef conservation, we have a mangrove for the future. It's a unique partner-led initiative to promote investment in coastal ecosystem conservation for sustainable development. It is co-chaired by IUCN and UNDP. This scheme, Mangrove for the Future, provides a platform for collaboration among the many different agencies, sectors and countries which are addressing challenges to coastal ecosystem livelihood issues. The protection of coral reefs has been provided under Wildlife Protection in 1972, Environment Protection Act 1986 and Coastal Regulation Zone. And issues related to the destruction of coral reef are also taken up under the Integrated Coastal and Marine Areas Management, and we have IGNOU. It has operationalized the coral bleaching alert system since 2011. To have a sustainable marine fishing, in 2017, the National Marine Fisheries Policy was notified for the first time, highlighting the challenge of overfishing and climate change, with greater emphasis on monitoring and control of coastal fishing. Further, in June 2019, the government created the first Ministry for Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. India's progress can be looked into, number one, Coastal Water Quality Index. Our water quality index which is very useful to measure and assess the quality of the coastal water and design suitable pollution prevention program. This water quality index value in the range of 81 to 100 is considered very good. In this progress can be looked into the mangrove cover. As of 2017, mangrove spread of the country stands at 4,921 square kilometer. There has been a net increase of 181 square kilometer in the mangrove cover area as compared to the 2015 assessment, which is roughly an increase of about 3.82%. If we look to our aquaculture potential, it is estimated that an area of brackish water available for aquaculture in the country is about 1.19 million hectares. It's against which only 11% of the areas has been developed for shrimp farming, so we can develop more. At 29%, Karnataka leads among the states in aquaculture development. And if we look to that in terms of potential, West Bengal has the highest potential of more than 4 lakh hectares of brackish water, followed by Gujarat at 3.76 lakh hectare, and Karnataka has the lowest potential at 8,000 hectares. So we can tap this potential. Goal number 15, that is life on land. To sustainably manage forest, combat desertification, hold and reverse land, hold and reverse land degradation, and hold biodiversity loss. In this approach, in this line, IGNOU with 2.4% of the world's land area, but a sixth of the global human population, and approximately 8% of all recorded species, India has made sustainable management of the terrain ecosystem as a priority. Our approach can be looked into the way we are managing the forest, protection for wetland and water bodies and wildlife, or different programs on combating desertification. These are some of the approaches. To manage our forests, we have the National Afforestation Program that targets the development of forest resources with the involvement of people, with a focus on sustainability improvement and livelihood of the forest fringe communities, especially the poor. The country has adopted the joint forest management approach, which proved to be productive both in terms of better protection and management of forests and improved livelihoods of forest-dependent people. For the protection of wetlands and water bodies and wildlife, India has a robust system of acts and legal provision. We have Forest Act 1972, Forest Conservation Act 1980, Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, Water Prevention and Control of Pollution SEZ Act 1977, and the umbrella provision of the Environment Protection Act 1986. The National River Conservation Plan and the National Plan for Conservation of Aquatic Ecosystem, with comprehensive management of the wetlands through a comprehensive range of intervention that relates to wastewater management, shoreline protection, lakefront development, in situ cleaning, stormwater management, bioremediation, catchment area treatment, biodiversity conservation. These are among others. To combat desertification, you have initiative like the Integrated Watershed Management Program, National Afforestation Program, and National Mission for Green India. Our achievement can be looked in terms of forest and tree cover. India has set a national goal of bringing 33% of geographical area under forest and tree cover. Close to half the number of states in the country have more than 33% of forest and tree cover. Big achievement. Close to half the number of states in the country have more than 33% of the forest and tree cover. Mizoram leads at 88.5%, that is followed by Arunachal Pradesh, 81%, and Meghalaya, 79.4%. Among the Union territories, Lakshadweep ranked first with 97%, Andaman and Nicobar Island come second with 82.15%. We can look into the extent of water bodies in terms of decadal change. On average, there was an increase of 18.24% in the extent of water bodies within forests between 2005 and 2015. In terms of the average change in the context of in the extent of water bodies between 2005 and 2015, Manipur ranks first with over 81%, followed by with 72%, Mizoram, and Tamil Nadu with 62%. Among the Union Territory, Delhi tops with an increase of approximately 15%. To combat desertification, only 4 states, Uttar Pradesh, Telangana, Rajasthan, and Odisha, saw a decreasing trend in the area under desertification, with Uttar Pradesh leading with close to 17% reduction in desertified area. Goal number 16, peace, justice, and a strong institution. To promote peaceful and inclusive societies, provide access to justice for all, and build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. Goal 16 lays down the basic principle which enable the achievement of all other goals, mainly by building the foundation for peaceful and inclusive societies, robust system of justice for all, and inclusive and accountable institution. India is to achieve this goal. Our approach is we are trying to reduce violence, access to justice, accountable and transparent institution, legal identity for all. To reduce violence, India enacted several legislation to help fulfill various rights of children, like Juvenile Justice, Care and Protection of Children Act 2015, Protection of Children from Sexual Offence Act POCSO 2012. Apart from essential amendments to the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013 is also one of the act. The Right to Education Act of 2009 that prohibits corporal punishment and psychological harassment in schools is also one of such acts to reduce violence. To give access to justice, the government has taken conscious efforts to end discrimination and exclusion of people belonging to different socioeconomic status. The government has set up special courts to ensure speedy trial of atrocities committed against scheduled castes and scheduled tribes on the ground of caste. Initiatives have been launched for other vulnerable groups as well. The Right of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 that lays down a concrete legal framework and provides higher visibility and entitlements to persons with disabilities. To give accountable and transparent institution, India has the Right to Information Act 2005. The government has taken noteworthy technology-driven initiatives such as Digital India campaign that focus on providing e-governance solution for citizen-centric projects, and the Pragati platform, an IT-based grievance redressal and monitoring system extending to the district and sub-district level to improve participatory governance. To give legal identity for all, India have the Aadhaar biometric-based unique identity system that secure citizens' legal identity. So our progress can be looked into the density of court. Like at present, there are about 13 courts per 10 lakh population in India. India has the highest number of pending court cases in the world, indicating the need for increasing the number of judicial institutions. Goa and Chandigarh have the highest court density among the states and union territories respectively. That shows that we need to improve a lot. Number of birth register. While the target is to have 100% birth registration, the country's average in 2016 was 86%. 13 states and union territories have reached 100%. Haryana is at 99.86%. That is followed by Gujarat at 98.76%. You can look into other coverage. India is the leading nation in providing a universally accepted legal identity to all its citizens. In 7 states and union territories, 100% of the population is covered under Aadhaar. Overall, about 88.80% of the country's population is under Aadhaar coverage. So through these schemes and other initiative, India is trying to achieve the goal number 16. Goal number 17, the last goal of Sustainable Development Goals, which is very important. That is partnership for the goals, to revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. NITI Aayog, the national coordinating institution that strive and realize the importance of NITI Aayog strives to realize such partnership through its close collaboration within the states and union territory governments, and creating platform where states, union territories comes together to discuss SDG. NITI Aayog develop strong intergovernment partnership. That's also we discuss in a session on sustainable development goals in this achievement. NITI Aayog's engagement with the private sector and industry bodies help propagate the message of sustainable and responsible business practices. The UN system in India has been a close partner of the government and civil society since the inception of SDG adoption, implementation, and monitoring in the country. The idea behind these support efforts is to cultivate and disseminate the principles of leaving no one behind and shares responsibilities to ensure a sustainable future. NITI Aayog and the Ministry of Statistical and Program Implementation are working closely with the states and union territories in developing their own state and district indicator frameworks to spur district-wise competition, accelerate the progress in SDG localization. SDG dashboard also are being developed and used at national, state and union territories levels. Furthermore, in engagement with the civil society, the need of citizen-generated data is being pursued. Efforts are also underway to explore the possibilities of using them in monitoring the progress towards SDG. In the area of international cooperation, India has played a leading role. The country is a staunch supporter of South-South cooperation. The India-UN Development Partnership Fund that was set up in 2017 aimed at assisting especially the least developed countries, landlocked developing countries, and small island developing countries in their sustainable development initiatives. The take-home point of all this session is that to align local development plans with SDG, local government with rural and urban are the best place to put people first and ensure that no one is left behind. And in India, 29 functions related to socio-economic developments are devolved into local government. Consequently, many of the 17 SDGs are directly related to activities carried out by local governments. Several initiatives have been and are being taken to cast local development plan in the SDG framework. And as we know, to have leave no one behind, all the states have met this principle, the leading actionable and monitorable parameters in program implementation. A number of states and union territories have taken initiative to conduct vulnerability mapping and reinforce people's participation in various development programs to make them truly inclusive. Special initiatives have been taken to address the needs of vulnerable population groups such as women, persons with disabilities, scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, etc. Like at the national level, social insurance entitlement-based programs have been multiplied in states and union territories, targeting the vulnerable social groups. Preparing capacity building resources and tools, development of capacity building aids and learning materials have been prioritized by various state government. Different forms of resources have been used, such as comics of children, then written IEC materials on SDGs, manual training modules, e-learning modules, information booklets, and toolkits targeting different audience. So we will see, we can summarize that the performance, the progress so far by our country, then you will find out in this table, value achieved by different states that can be that is categorized into 4 important categories that are aspirant depending upon the value earned by different state, aspirant, performer, then front runner and achiever. So you can look this very carefully. If you look into, you will see in this graph also the different states which are states and unitary which are taking lead in different goals. These are the states. So with this, we have completed all the goals under SDGs, that is 17 SDGs goals, how India's approaches to achieve those goals, and what is our progress till 2019. And this presentation is basically based on NITI Aayog 2020 publication SDG India Index 2 and NITI Aayog Strategy for India at 75. That is a publication of 2018. I'm sure the basic objective of this session under differentiation under SDGs and India's achievement is we need to understand our existing policy programs and activities of our country that was twins, that was policies program under different goals of SDGs. And we have seen that in most of the goals we have achieved a lot, and in few of the goals we have to improve it. So let us meet. Thank you. Let us meet in the next session.